Show. It's the Madman Morning Show. It's the Madman Morning Show. It's the Madman Morning Show. Sitting at home when you're in your car. It's the Madman Morning Show. No matter if you get far. It's the Madman Morning Show. You better tune in quick or you might just miss. It's the Madman Morning Show. The best show this side of the sea. It's the Madman Morning Show. 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 Sitting at home when you're in your car. It's the Madman Morning Show. No matter if you get far. It's the Madman Morning Show. You better tune in quick or you might just miss. It's the Madman Morning Show. The best show this side of the sea. It's the Madman Morning Show. 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 It's the Madman Morning Show.
And good morning to everyone. Good morning to everyone. It is Friday. It is Friday. We finally got here. It looks like we got here a little quick. I thought we were back in Wednesday almost, but no, not really. I'd like to say good morning to each and every one of you. This is the Magman Morning Show. Good morning to each and every one of you. We'd like to say good morning to all of our listeners on WKRA 92.7 on your FM dial. We'd like to say good morning to all of you, to our president and our CEO, Miss Autry, to all of you that are listening in the region, and also our national audience that we have on YouTube. We'd like to say good morning to each and every one of you. I knew you were anticipating this great day that we're going to be having. I got some things up my sleeve. Y'all already know I'm excited about our wonderful exclusive interview that we're going to be having with our fabulous guest on this morning. But first of all, I'd like to say good morning to our chief correspondent and one that has done wonderful work, especially on this wonderful day with our wonderful guests. I'd like to say good morning to, I said what I said. Good morning to you, ma'am.
Well, good morning, James, and good morning to
Well,
everybody.
yes, it's a wonderful day. It's a little chilly. We in fall. Like to say good morning to each and every one of you that are here on this. It's a chilly Friday, but it's all right though. You know, y'all, this is my kind of weather. Being a boy from Chicago, you know, and I made the transition. I said what I said. You know, I shifted from the snowing.
This my
You do
type
yes.
of weather too. Yeah, I love
Yeah,
the
you can
winter.
put your leather coat on and your leather boot, all those things that y'all do, and the
Yeah,
furs and things. It's
there you
time to
go.
come on and bust out with. Watch out now, watch out. But good morning. Let me go through this weather real quick. We got a great show ahead of us today, and I'm just excited, and I wanted to get to it. But listen, let me tell you about these temperatures. I know y'all think that it's winter here and everything, but today we're going to slowly warm up, you all. On the next several days, we're going to be peaking our temperature. Hopefully, we had a high of 82 on Wednesday, which was great. I mean, we had a chilly morning, but the afternoon made up for it, and it was gorgeous. The weekend looks really great, and if you want to get out tonight and go to your various activities, enjoy yourself, take your little jackets and things like that, and get nice. You know, it's not an overcoat night, but you know, don't go out there without any clothes, y'all. Overnight lows are going to be in the 40s, so you might want to grab that coat and enjoy yourselves on today and enjoy your weekend. Right now, we're at 42 in Coldwater. We're at 43 at South Haven and in Olive Branch, and we're at 43 at WKRA 92.7 on your FM dial in Holly Springs, Mississippi, our headquarters that allow us to do the things that we do in the region, and it also gives us an opportunity to reach you wherever you may be. Listen, today is a great day. I got some stuff to start off with. Y'all know I got something up my sleeve. Y'all just listen to this here. Watch this here. I did this here. And I didn't do this. Dr. J did this, our executive producer.
Today, the Mac Man Morning Show presents Dolton's Trustee Kiana Belcher.
Yes, you have guessed it. We have the Honorable Kiana Belcher, trustee of the town, the village, the hamlet of Dolton, Illinois. Now I know, y'all don't say nothing to me and talk about me, but that was one of the most memorable clips that I have seen. But before we get there to the clips and all of those other good things, I just like to give you a little outline about our very, very special guest. And she does have a wonderful, doing wonderful work where she is. And I'm just grateful to have her here. Listen, Kiana Belcher has been has a passion for the residents of the village of Dolton. And as a 20-year resident, she has grown to love and adore the village and is proactive. And she's a real proactive resident of that community who doesn't hold back when it comes to standing as a leading force for justice and safety for the residents of the village of Dolton. Kiana is an entrepreneur, business owner, and she also was an educator for 7 years. I know that we pray for all the educators because I know some of the teachers just have a fit these days. But Kiana, with her brilliance and her entrepreneurial wits that she has, Kiana believes in the Dolton community and is a member of the Illinois Democratic Women. Also, Kiana is a proud member and has served as vice president, treasurer, and membership chair for the Far South Suburban branch of the NAACP. Also, Trustee Belcher is a member of the Honorable Order of the Eastern Stars, and she's very, very active in her organization and in her community that brings charity, cohesiveness, and accountability that she's trying to ensure for the citizens of Dolton through a collaboration with the citizens and elected officials and even the business owners. There's many that she represents and that supports her in her efforts in the business community in Dolton. She envisions herself as being a positive voice for her community to make things better in Dolton and even wherever she may be, to leave good and to leave refreshing feelings about the things that are going on and that can be in the future. And being a single mother of 2 foster children, she has her hands full. But this part right here, I'm going to talk about, she's a she's a Julian Jaguar but she was a gracious graduate of Percy L. Julian High School in the city of Chicago. Also, she furthered her education, got her bachelor's degree from Governor State University in criminal justice. Also, she has a master's of the arts degree, also from Governor State University in political science. And we'd like to say further congratulations to her on being presented the Presidential Lifetime Achievement Achievement Award this year, y'all. She got it this year from President Joe Biden, not from the other man. She got it from Joe Biden for her hard work and her community hours and efforts and the things that she do. Ladies and gentlemen, and people from around the country, I'd like to introduce at this time Trustee Kiana Belcher. Good morning, ma'am.
Good morning, and thank you for having me.
Oh, I tell you, I just got a shiver because they've been teasing me all week. I said what I said. My gracious host, Brother Lee, is here. He's also our senior contributor, and they've been razzing me all week. We got you here, and we wanted people to see you. It's not that we scared of the camera or anything like that. We're usually doing radio, but I think that the people wanted to see you. And I want to thank you for coming on and giving us your time. And also congratulations on your wonderful award that you won. Miss Belcher, let me ask you this first of all. Did you what was this thing? They my clip that I played and it was kind of funkied up by our executive producer. When you told the mayor, we don't trust you to buy a penny candy. Where did that come from? What happened and what gave you that reaction? Now, I'm not just going to stay on there, but I want to hear what you have to say. Come on.
Well, if anybody has been following the things that's going on in the community, the village of Dolton, people will see that the trustees have been fighting for transparency and accountability for the last 3.5 years. So an agenda item was placed on our agenda for the meeting, and it had no meat to it. It just said that, she wanted to buy these properties. It didn't have any price on it or anything. And it was just a reaction of, girl, we don't trust you to buy penny candy, and you think we about to allow you to buy some properties. It's too much stuff going on, too much inconsistency, indictments, federal subpoenas, and the village is just not in the real estate business. So it wasn't anything that was thought of or anything. I was just like, whatever the lowest thing is, we don't trust you to do it. And penny candy was on
Wow.
my mind.
Lord, I tell you, those of you all that don't know nothing about penny candy, it's a Chicago thing. Y'all, they be talking about me because I used to go to the corner store and get my penny. I hollered when you said that. And it's just one of those interesting things. Trustee, you all have a lot of uh, challenges. I won't say problems because it seems like you and your fellow board members are going in the right direction. Uh, could you just fill us in on, first of all, the first question that people really ask is that you and several other trustees endorsed the mayor in her runnings and everything. What happened with that relationship that has begun this clock to tick on her political life and career?
Yes, we did endorse her as a trustee. I would just say for myself, as a citizen at the time, and she was a trustee, she was advocating for the community. And what we seen is the same thing as her asking the mayor for documentation, asking the mayor for accountability and transparency. They even put in the ordinance of a transparency ordinance of all the things that the trustees are entitled to. So for her to get in a position and act like everything that you did now it doesn't apply because you're the mayor is not acceptable. So there was a time we started off when we ran. It was COVID. 2020 was when we started. The election was 2021. And we thought that we had a viable team to move the village forward. Young, we known that she had the support of the people that had background that could help. And when she got in office, things changed.
Well, Trustee Goodberger and all the things she was doing, 8 years on the board of trustees, you would think that she would know procedures and so forth. She said she was a business owner. I'm not here to bash her experience and knowledge in business, but there's some basic things like a budget that most businesses operate under. Am I right or wrong, trustee? I
That's
mean, you
absolutely
have
correct.
a budget and you got to follow that budget. If not, you go into deficit spending money that you don't have. Now, I'm not a arithmetic person or a person, arithmetic, ain't that something? Mathematical genius, I'll put it that way. But I have a question that how did she get the opportunity to spend and this kind of money and put you all in deficit? And it seemed like uh, nobody knew but her what she was doing. Where were the checks and balances before it got out of hand like this, trustee?
So I'll say the stereotypical way is that most of the time when a mayor asks a vendor, contractor for services, the proper way is a RFP comes in front of the board and then is voted on and move forward. If you have somebody just like, I'm the mayor, I'm gonna do what I want to do and enter into all these agreements and it doesn't come in front of the board, then when we see it, it's after the services have been rendered and now these people want payment. And it doesn't work like that. So all of these invoices start coming in, all the services, and of course, they like, this is not budgeted for. Where did this come from? And when it starts adding up, it can put you in a deficit very quickly. I'll give you an example. Of 1 month, we had about $700,000 worth of tree cutting. And the budget was like $300,000, 300,
But y'all chopped
350.
you must have chopped every tree down in Dalton for that kind of dough, ain't it? I mean, y'all got enough firewood for America.
Yeah, so those are the type of things. And one of the vendors who was very upset with us because we started pulling items off, like, no, this is not valid. Do you have a contract? He said, well, I seen the mayor riding down the street and she asked me to give her a estimate of trimming and cutting down the trees in the village, the entire village. I gave her a $2.8 million estimate. And we're looking like, no, it don't work like that. Well, she's the mayor. Yeah, she's the mayor, but there's checks and balances. So unfortunately for us, we were not privy to anything until it came in front of us to vote on. So she just was, feeling like she's the mayor so she can enter into these agreements knowing that that was not the proper way.
Now I know that people say various things. I know several politicians and people that are in political life that works behind the scenes and work in administrations. And most municipalities, and both of us know, Chicago, how crooked old man Mayor Daley was. We knew that he did these things, and probably other mayors too, other than the late great Harold Washington, which I believe he was never a crook. Thank you for his spirit. And I miss that kind of politician that takes care of its people. But there's been a history, if I'm wrong, help me out, of some kind of shenanigans that may have been going on before she became mayor. Even the ties that she has with township officials. Before we get to that, I know that we won't even talk about that right now because you're a Village of Dalton official, and I know that you can't commingle. That's another thing you were saying. The mayor was commingling the money also. Now, out of all these problems that have happened and all these things that have occurred, trustee, there was a lot of things that were happening. But before we get to that, we're at our first break mark. You can get you some coffee or some things that you might need to say, this James is doing good. And then tell all of your friends and family to like and subscribe to the man in Mississippi that has great Chicago roots. Y'all root for us here. This is the Mac Man Morning Show. I'm James Mack, your host. I am here with our wonderful, illustrious guest, the trustee, Her Honor, the Honorable Trustee of the Village of Dalton, Kiana Belcher is here with us, and she's going to stick around. We got her here. Everybody in the chat, please like and subscribe to our channel. We got good people that we have coming on here, and you know, if Miss Belcher is here, you know we got to be doing something right. Ain't that right? But we won't get an endorsement right now. But at this time, we're going to go and do pay a couple of bills. You're listening to the Magman Morning Show. Thank y'all for listening, and we will be right back.
America, we are not going back. We are not going back. We are not going back.
I don't know about you, but I'm not going back. If you're not going back, vote Diane Black. Again, if you're not going back, vote Diane Black for U.S. Representative, 1st Congressional District of Mississippi, November 5th, 2024. Vote Diane Black.
Paid for by friends of Diane Black.
Left, right, left, vote, left, right, left, vote. Your mama, your daddy, they vote, Your sister, your brother, they vote, Your mama, your daddy, your sister, your brother, they need to get out and vote, Your mama, your daddy, they vote, Your sister, your brother, they vote, Your mama, your daddy, your sister, your brother, they need to get out and vote.
This is a call to all Americans. On November 5th, 2024, you have a chance to be heard. Make your voice known. Vote. It's your turn.
If your locks ain't right and your twist is on limp, you know, get over to Keisha Studio. Specialized in locks, natural hair, and extensions. When your hair needs that special attention, make Keisha Studios your next decision. Located 3964 Goodman Road E, Suite 122 in South Haven, Mississippi. Call 901-650-9487 for your appointment at Keisha Studios. You know.
And we're back. This is WKRA 92.7 on your FM dial. This is the Magman Morning Show. Good Friday morning to all of you. Yes, we finally got her. She's here, and it wasn't difficult to attain her interview. She didn't have bodyguards, and I didn't have to go through the police and all of the people to get to her. She was very, very friendly and receptive. Our wonderful guest, the Honorable Trustee of the wonderful village of Dalton. Dalton is a beautiful place, beautiful surroundings. We have Trustee Kiana Belcher here. And we also have our panel. I said what I said, our chief correspondent and our chief contributor, Brother Lee. We're going to bring them on in a couple of seconds. I just want to plug this in right quick. And I wanted to ask this. You're now I think I was going, and I'll come back to the thing that I wanted, but somebody had asked me this. You're now the chairperson on the board for police and fire, and you had gave a little update. I heard a little something. Could you tell us what's going on with your fire department situation? I'm a fireman, but I wanted to know what's going on with House Public Safety and what's going on with the leadership there, if you don't mind commenting on it.
Sure. So a lot of things are starting to change, which is good because we have all these court hearings and court dates, but our job is really to oversee the finances and make legislation. And when it gets to the point that we have to start making sure that our committees, because normally each person, each trustee is over a committee, and that committee is the source of how you get the budget completed for those departments and the communications, like a liaison. And the fire department had been going back and forth for a long time with trying to get their contract. This is my first term, so I was not on the board prior to actually the city mayor was on the board. And we had been receiving all of these different emails about why the contract wasn't being pursued and with the arbitrators. So we were able to, I was able to actually get the contract signed, and it has been enforced because it was 5 years without a contract. So now they actually have a contract until 2027.
Okay. So the contract, the present contract that was negotiated by, I'm sure yourself and others that are on the board, it is in effect, and these firefighters do have their benefits in order and everything.
That is correct.
All right. We have a question. Can you put that back up there? I said what I said. We just had a quick question. Somebody wanted, y'all don't start no trouble here, but they wanted to ask you a quick question. Okay. And I'm not trying to step on nobody, but they want to know, would Miss Belcher want to run the village of Dalton? I guess assuming that you have aspirations for mayor of some kind. So that's one question.
I do not have aspirations for mayor at this time. I completely support our senior trustee, Jason House, Clean House 2025. I believe that he's going to do a wonderful job. He's a man of integrity and he has a finance background. And I believe that he is the proper person that will be able to get in and turn this thing around. And I support him 100%. So not at this time.
Well, she said not at this time, so y'all know she could be governor or something, because she don't play. I like a leader don't play with folks, and she has her receipts and she waved them papers and everything, and brings me to a part of my next little question I want to ask you. These Tahoes, everybody holler about these cars, and when you explain that you paid less for your vehicle versus what they're paying for these other ones, and this just this fiasco. This is just my part of it. I'm sure my other contributors have some questions, just a few questions, but I want to know about this lease. How in the world did this woman get these leases for these fleet vehicles, as we would call them? You can get them anywhere naked, but she got them at this rate. What in the world? How did that happen? And how did that slip past you? If, and I'm not saying that you didn't look at it, but how did she get into that kind of agreement and y'all didn't know nothing about it?
So originally in September of 2021, we approved for Enterprise, which is the fleet company, to change out some of the vehicles we had for the police department, public works, and fire department. And it was a total of 46 vehicles, which normally they would turn them in, then we would get new vehicles, and that was fine. So when we started seeing the vehicles, we assumed that they were part of the lease. We have a system, which is my viewpoint, where we can go in and start looking at invoices. So when I seen a payment for $2,400, and I went to like, what? Oh, what's this? And I clicked on it, and the lease was attached to the payment. And I'm like, $2,400 for one Tahoe? Wait a minute. So I start digging, I start going to the vendor name and pulling up all of the payments. And I'm like, they put $9,000 down and they paying $2,400 a month. And from there, went down the rabbit hole of all of these unapproved vehicles that did not come through Enterprise. They came through a different vendor, and it did not come in front of the board, and they were signed off by the mayor and some department heads, which is allegedly not the appropriate way to enter into an agreement because it did not come in front of the board.
So they just try. I mean, she just went over y'all and just said, "Forget it. I'm going to do what I want to do." And That's just that. How did I mean? And another question I wanted to ask somebody, and I'm going to get to that question. If you can put that question up by Alice again, and I'm going to ask this of the trustee. But there was a check for $500,000 that allegedly they say was for the paving of the mayor's mama's house. Now wait a minute. Now I'm not crazy. I hope I'm not nuts. That's a whole lot of paving unless she got the mansion or something and you go to the woods and come off the road and got to go 3 or 4 miles in or something like that. If that's the kind of place she lives, where is this true or is this just a gossip that people are talking about? Or help us out to understand about that money. And I got this question from our viewer.
So the check was for concrete and repaving. It happened to be on her mother's block, which she uses as her address, but the repavement included paving her mother's driveway, which is on personal property outside of the village. So the street was repaved. Um, the easement was repaid, but onto the property, which is very questionable because even with that type of money, there's a lot of other streets in the village that probably needed to be repaid. And coincidentally, it just happened to be where where her mother resides, that whole area over there was repaid first.
Okay, so she made sure that her mama's and them area was taken care of, and she neglected the great citizens that pay their money. And take that one down for me for a second, because I want to keep up with Alice's question, if you can. I wanted to say that now all of this is going on, and she made sure her folks' stuff was taken care of. But I know you got constituents and people that voted for you that want their streets and sidewalks done too. So she had picks and chooses. That's what I'm not saying that's what you're saying, but that's what people are saying. She had picks and chooses. And $500,000, that's where it got to me. I said, man, I'd do it for a fraction. I find me some concrete or whatever, but that's just that. We have a question from one of our viewers, trustee, and Alice is asking, her question is that if anything is trustee Belcher and others in the community what are you doing in the community to encourage and stress the importance of voting in local elections? Good question.
So we have tea with the trustees every second Saturday of the month. We've been doing this since September 2021. And because if anybody watches the meetings, they see that no questions are being answered. What we do for the community is they come on the second Saturday. They can ask questions if they have issues, concerns in reference to public works or safety. We then write those questions down, get them to the appropriate department heads, and then reach back out to them since they're not getting the answers through the village meeting. Also, if anyone knows that I am on the executive board for the Democratic Committeeman of Thornton Township, so we have a lot of outreach and community events to make sure that people are aware of who's running, and also give them background and have them research, because what may be important to one person may not significantly be important to someone else, but encourage them because the local turnout is always so very low, to get out and vote and exercise their right to vote.
All right. Well, we're going to answer some more of our wonderful questions from our viewers, but I'd like to bring in also our chief correspondent. I said what I said, and our chief senior contributor, Brother Lee. If you all have any questions for our wonderful guest that has given us this time, you can take this time to do it.
Okay. Well, good morning, Miss Belcher.
Good
And
morning.
good morning to everybody on your way to work and in our chat. I'm glad to be here today. And the question that I have for you is, would you be able to work with the new administration, no matter who it is? Because it's a lot of chaos going on at this time. So in case she is reelected, how do you guys proceed to working together? Would you be able to work with the new administration if that's
I
the
can
case?
work. I can work with anybody, but I'm not doing anything illegal. So my thing with
Okay.
that is, I hope that Jason House wins. Unfortunately, if someone else was to get in there, I am
Mhm.
willing to work with anyone. But you have to be able to do right by the community. The community is expecting us to do right. We represent them. We're the voice for them. So when it comes to legislation, when it comes to finances, when it comes to budgets, as high as our property taxes is, they want the services for what they pay for. So absolutely, I'll be willing to work with anyone as long as they're doing right by the community.
Okay. Now I did see you on another interview, and I noticed that you guys said that you noticed. Well, you said you knew right away that it was some red flags before the administration even began. So within saying that, if you knew there were red flags, why wasn't it any um why wasn't it any guardrails to pay attention to the things that she was doing? Because you already saw the red flags coming into the administration, because it appears that like, did the board approve some of the things that she was doing? Because you guys said that you were in such a big deficit. So in the beginning, did you guys like approve what was going on her agenda, or did she just do it, or did she just go rogue right away?
She went rogue right away, but when we first started, the budget was about $3 million more than normal. But the conversation was, and you have to consider, I'm only one vote. The
Hmm.
conversation was, so we do have conversations behind the scenes that, okay, there are things that we want to implement that the community has been lacking for so long, and we will be able to put these things in place. We actually had people that, uh, state representatives, senators, that was like, okay, we have all these allocations of funds that would be able to be bought to Dawson. So we were okay with that. I seen somebody had posted about the My Viewpoint. That system is only when someone has to manually upload the invoices. So the invoices may not come in to 30 to 60 days past when it started, and we vote every month. So there wouldn't be you wouldn't know some of the stuff that's coming in, or you wouldn't see the leases until it's actually uploaded into the system, but the bill may have already came. So yeah, at the beginning there were some things that were approved and may have been overlooked. But if you see, I started off when she said I turned her back on her the first meeting. I started off saying no, and I'm one vote, so you can go back and look at my voting history. But there was a story that was told about the inauguration when we came in, that it should have been paid out of our campaign funds, and we started getting all these bills that was billed to the village of Dolton. I voted no, and that was the start of standing up to say, no, this is not how this goes. This is not what it's supposed to be. Even in that other previous interview, I seen the signs during the campaign, and the signs during the campaign was, this is going to be a dictatorship, not a democracy. But we were in the middle of a campaign. You're too far. You have to move forward, because at the end of the day, my initial is, I have to be the trustee. I need to be the trustee. So I'm going to continue to fight through this to make sure that I represent the people. So there, at the beginning, there were some items that if we could have probably went back now and been like, oh, I told you we shouldn't have did that, or oh, but it wasn't until 2022 where the significant amount of spending began. The audits didn't come through. So once the audits are not, because if you don't open the book for the audits, then the grants are not going to come through, and they refuse to open the book for audit.
Okay. And so like, everybody see what's going on television, right? And well, not on TV, but well, I guess on TV, because it is on the news and it is in the social media streets. So how do the community feel about everybody knowing what's going on in Dalton, because it appeared like it's a lot of chaos going on. The last meeting you guys had, you got a lot of things done, and but when she came in, it was total chaos. You guys, you went through your agenda, you passed this and you passed that, and everything went smooth until she came into the room and kind of like sucked all the air out of the room. And so, how do the community feel about how these meetings are going? Like, is the morale really low, and do they have confidence in the administration and with the trustees? Is there uh, um, any type of confidence that you guys can get things done with the community?
That's a loaded question. I can say that at one point the community was divided. I believe now that so much stuff has come out, the people see what's going on, and a lot of people are just embarrassed. Like you're embarrassed to say you from Dalton. They be like, "What? You down there with that girl?" So it's embarrassing that the lease is embarrassing. But I believe that the community sees that the trustees are fighting for them. They're not fighting. We're not fighting for ourselves. We're fighting for them. So the level of being involved has grown. The level of people being more conscious of who they place in office is going to be really significant because they see what has happened. And the first thing they say, well, how do we know that the next person is not going to get in and do the same thing? The difference is now, right now, even with the previous mayor, ordinances are in place and they were followed, even though they might not like that they were followed. This mayor right here, she considered ordinances as suggestions. She like, oh, okay,
Wow.
well, let me know what the consequence is, and nothing is happening. We've been to state's attorney, we've been to attorney general, and it's just like everybody says it takes a while, it takes a while. And even if you see just watching the news, other local officials are being indicted, and it's like started off in 2016, 2018, and it's just not happening now. But the community is the one that suffers.
Wow.
Okay.
Brother Lee?
Well, I would like to say, great day. Uh, I got a few questions. First, I want to ask you, madam, what experience do you have in accounting and bookkeeping?
I was a CFO for 6 years. I can say that I have a significant amount of financial background that I am able to manage a budget and for businesses and for the municipality.
So you determine how much experience you have, no one else.
I determine it. I mean, my work speaks
Yeah,
for
you
itself.
just said that. You just said that you determine how much experience you got. You said you have a lot, and that's based on your opinion, right?
That's based on my opinion and my work experience because I work. That's what I do for my full-time job.
Okay. So, and at your full-time job, they rated you a A for doing your job the correct way, right?
I've never surveyed them, but I get bonuses, and when I'm up for up for reviews, I think that they haven't been anything less than a B.
And our next question I have is, anyone being investigated besides the mayor and that administration?
Yes, the village administrator has been indicted. The chief of police has been indicted, and I'm sure probably there'll be some other indictments that may come down. But on those federal subpoenas, none of the trustees that have been fighting against this administration are on there.
Well, let me say this: an indictment is not a conviction.
That's
Is that not
absolutely
true?
correct.
Okay, then an indictment is really an investigation. Is
And
that
that's
not
what you
true?
asked. Correct.
Okay. So everybody on that board that which you sit on has no culpability, no accountability to what went on, no responsibility. It's all on that mayor, right? Am I
I
correct?
don't, that's not true.
So
That's
what
not
is true?
true. Because at the end of the day, it's a collaboration. It should be the board approves, and then the mayor is the executor. The village administrator is the person that runs the day-to-day operation. So
Exactly.
the board of trustees don't run the day-to-day operation.
So what I'm trying to get at, the board is just as responsible as the mayor for what's going on in that town, right?
No, because we don't enter any contracts. We don't have any credit cards or any of that. So no,
So you have no responsibility toward anything that goes on in that town.
we do. We have a responsibility to make sure
So
that the ordinances are enforced and executed. But you can't. What you're gonna do? Hold somebody neck to make them do right?
so you saying that you don't have any accountability for what went on as far as those invoices that come in. I know they take 30 to 60 days when they come in, but they're not submitted to you until you see the invoices. You know nothing about that. Those invoices, those bills that has to be paid until you actually see the invoices cross your desk.
That is correct.
And that's the procedure that you guys go about on that board. You wait for the invoices to come in before you act on anything.
That is correct. The proper way, if it was something that we voted on, there should be a RFP that would go out. If the RFP goes out, which is the proposal, then we would know the companies that submitted RFPs for the bid. But that has not been done. So we do not see the invoices until they come on the warrant list. That's absolutely correct.
So you have a paid position. That board, that's a paid position. Am I correct on that?
Yes, it's a part-time position and it's paid. That's correct.
Okay. And you were elected, not appointed. Am I correct?
That is absolutely correct. Correct.
And your term is up just like the mayor's at the same time. Am I correct?
Yes, my term is, but the board is split 3 and 3. So 2 years ago, 3 trustees was up. Now 3 trustees are up again.
And I want to ask this question. Are you running for re-election or are you just going to bow out?
I'm running for re-election. I have to continue to make sure that the citizens of Dolton are represented to the ability that I feel as a resident I would want. So yes, I am.
Oh, okay. So you say you're running because you feel that you're the only one that can run that position the way it should be done in your eyes, right?
That's not what I said because I'm not the only one. We are a team. So I want to be, I'm not the only one, but I feel like from me as trustee Kiana Belcher, I am able to bring uh, accountability and transparency as much as I can for myself. But the board that I currently work with 3 other trustees, we work together collaboratively to make sure that the community is getting the best that we can provide right now.
All right, Brother Lee,
Okay,
hold your question right quick. We're going to go. I'm going to do this a little early. We're going to go to our second break real quick so that we can have a little bit more time with our special guest. This is WKRA 92.7 on your FM dial. I am James McMahon on the McMahon Morning Show. Boy, I tell you, welcome to all of you that have come from the UK. We even got folks, our listeners over in Alaska that are listening. Everybody that's listening from Dolton, from the south suburbs, hey, Roseland, the Ninth Ward, all of y'all. I see all of y'all out there. Miss Belcher, you brought all of them out of the bushes. And the bushes is shaking, sure enough, today. The bushes is shaking. You're listening to the McMahon Morning Show. We're going to pay a few bills and make a couple of announcements. But our special guest is the Honorable Kiana Belcher from the wonderful, great, it is a beautiful place, home of Pop Staples and other doctors and dignitaries and my great friends and great religious leaders that live in that community. And to see what's going on, I know that Trustee Belcher is going to do her best. I got an announcement when we come back, and Brother Lee is going to continue his line of questioning, and we're going to be back in a couple of minutes. Y'all just hang on a little bit. This is McMahon Morning Show. Boy, I tell you, it is wonderful.
If your locks ain't right and your twist is on limp, you know. Get over to Keisha Studio. Specialized in locks, natural hair, and extensions. When your hair needs that special attention, make Keisha Studios your next decision. Located 3964 Goodman Road E, Suite 122 in South Haven, Mississippi. Call 901-650-9487 for your appointment at Keisha Studios. You know. First thing first, you know back in middle school when they taught us it was 3 branches of the government, we forgot it when we got older. It's the judicial, the legislative, and executive. But all we know is the executive, that's the mayor or the governor and the president. Now none of them 3 people make no laws, they just be checking them. The laws come to their desk and all they do is say no or yes to it. So when the news station tried to tell us that Barack Obama couldn't put us on, we was all salty at Obama when it was the Congress members all along. We gotta focus on the legislative branch, yeah, they the ones that make the laws. Yeah, they the ones write how much food stamp money you get on the card. But when people that wanted to help us wanted the job, I know they probably lost. Cause we ain't even know their name, we ain't know their face, we ain't know it all. So the Congress or the State House, that's legislative, they make laws. So what we want from the president is what they do, okay y'all? See, they election every 2 years, but we don't ever even go to those. The Congress, they can raise minimum wage, but we ain't even really know it though. So you know how back in 08, when we all voted for Obama, we was all supposed to go back in 2010 and vote for the Congress. Cause they the ones make child support laws, they the ones choose if your kids at school get to eat steak or corn dogs. The State House make the court costs. So if the country failed, then you can't say it's them, it's your fault. Cause y'all ain't know to vote for Congress members that was for y'all. And they don't gotta leave after 4 years, and we just let them sit. See, they don't wanna tell you this, they want you to focus on the president.
And we're back on WKRA 92.7 on your FM dial. This is the MacMan Morning Show. I'm James Mack, your host. Man, I tell you, this chat is lit. People are listening in. They got their coffee. They done stepped on the dog and everything else trying to get to the TV because they know that we have the Honorable Kiana Belcher from the great village of Dolton, Illinois, on with us. And I tell you, it is a wonderful day. I'd like to thank all of our supporters. I'd like to say good morning to Miss Diane Black, who is going to be our next Congresswoman from the 1st Congressional District. Diane has, she's out there on the campaign trail. You still can support her. We need help here in Mississippi, Miss Belcher. And like I was trying to tell people that you ought to be happy to be in a place where you can go vote early. We can't do that here. We got restrictions and IDs and people are being purged off the rolls, but you ought to be glad where you are. And I'm asking you right now to go out to your county courthouses and to your various facilities and absentee vote. If you're not going to be at work, if you're going to be at work or school or you're away or whatever, you still got time to request an absentee ballot. Just don't request it, send it back. As you know, I have made my official announcement that I endorse the Vice President of the United States for the position of President of the United States. I endorse the Honorable Kamala Harris and her team Vice President Waltz, I have endorsed Diane Black for the first congressional district of Mississippi. We need a change. We need to turn that page, and I'm with her. And at this time, I'd like to officially jump ahead of New Year's and everything else. And at this time, the Mac Man has officially endorsed Trustee Kiana Belcher for her return back to the Board of Trustees. Let me tell you why I'm doing this, and I hope that she will accept it. It takes a lot of know how, it takes a lot of sacrifice, it takes a lot of determination to work for people. Everybody is different. Everybody is not going to like you. Everybody is not going to be pleased with you. But if you can help one somebody, if you can help one resident, if you can help one senior citizen, Miss Belcher, we seen that your track record speaks for itself. Not just because you're on this show this morning or we're doing this, we did our research and we have found that your community involvement is so great that people are talking about you. Your neighbors, your friends and associates that I have spoken to speak very, very highly of you. And not to mention your great work in the Order of the Eastern Stars, an international community organization that helps so many. And because of that fact, and because I see that you have checks and balances, you believe in what you're doing, I'd like for you to, we extend our endorsement to you. And in any way that we can help you in the coming future, because 2025 is coming, the Magman Morning Show is here for you. And I hope that you will accept our humble, I'm not much, I ain't Tom Joyner or nothing like that though, but we have listeners everywhere that lives in Illinois, live in your region, that can tell people to support you. So Miss Belcher, we support you, and I hope that you will accept our endorsement.
Thank you so much. I greatly appreciate that. I'm honored to even receive the endorsement. I hope that you see that I will continue to fight for my community. I will continue to be a community servant. I am a public servant. I'm not a self-servant. And I want to continue to do as much as I can for my community. So thank you so much for that endorsement.
That's right. So, when the president send that, Kamala Harris sends that money down there to help you all out to get out your mess, and you can go because you are part of the Democratic Women's Committees and the committee women of Thornton Township. If I'm right, you're on that committee. You have things to say. It's good to have folks that's on your side, and you can go to them and ask them for help, and you being a part of them. And I know that you, along with your team and along with the future mayor, I would like to talk to Jason if you can talk to him, and let's have him come on and let him get on here like you did. I know that you took some heat, and Brother Lee is he's my analyst, and he will dissect things, and I'm proud of all of our staff here and everything. Now, I said what I said, had a question, but Brother Lee, I want you to continue your line of question, please. Yes, sir. I want you to continue with yours. Go ahead.
I just have two more questions. I just directed to sister over there. To the best of your knowledge, does anyone on your board have a criminal record?
To the best of my knowledge,
Yes.
no, not that I know. Are you speaking of the mayor also?
It includes everybody on that board and everybody in administration.
There are probably people that have misdemeanors on there, but that does not keep them out of running for office.
So is anyone on your board, just your board, under investigation by law enforcement for any reason outside, inside that administration?
Yes.
And yes, okay. That's all the questions I have.
Yes.
All right. I wanted to let me say something real quick to our YouTube audience right now. You all that are new, y'all, you have not heard this, but I'm going to put this in the ether right quick. I am a journalist. I'm not a gossip columnist. I'm not one of those fly-by-nights. We're glad to have the service of YouTube, and we're also an FCC ran show. Please keep your comments. If you cannot comment in the right way, I guarantee you, I love all of you all. I think that you're wonderful. You need to like and subscribe. If not, that's fine too. But I will keep close contact and close eyes on the chat, and I will remove you for anything that you say. People are here to get information, and we're trying to give inspiration to people, and we will do that. Now, Sister, I said what I said. You had a question. Would you like to go forth?
Yeah, I have one last question for you, Miss Belcher.
Yes.
How long does Miss Lightfoot have? Is she on a deadline, or do she have free range as long as her investigation goes? Did you guys give her like a time slot of when you want the report? And when she do report, will you guys get the full report? And what are you gonna do with it?
So there is still some more stuff should be coming, but there has been a stall because of her not being able to get a lot of documentation that is needed. So we were hoping for a report in October, but there is a stall of her getting more information that she needs to complete the investigation.
So is there a possibility that she may have to finish after the election, or what's going to be her mechanisms of getting those reports? How she
I'm
gonna,
not
you
her,
don't
so
know?
I don't
You
know.
don't know?
But
Okay.
I do know that just on some email threads that a lot of documentation that she is trying to get is not being submitted to her.
Okay, that was the last question that I had for you. I was just kind of wondering,
Okay.
how that investigation was going. That's all.
Yeah.
And if she had a deadline or not, because like you said, it seemed like it's going on for a minute at this point.
Yes, because there's a concern or there's some stagnating with getting information that she needs.
I have some questions. I got a few questions in the the weaning time that we do have. And Trustee, I was looking and thinking about the people that are around you. Somebody asked a question about your administrator. Why is he still the administrator? We're talking about Mr. Freeman. In addition to, I know that he was under investigation for various financial dealings. Can you explain why is he still the village administrator? And this Smith guy who the mayor tried to put in, what about, what's that situation like, and how is it working with him?
So we have went to court. He is still the village administrator. He's protected under the Whistleblower Act right now, which firing him would possibly put us in another financial bind of lawsuits because he is actively working with organizations about current investigations that's going on. So he is still the current village administrator. The village administrator that she was trying to put in place has, of course, not done properly. No resume, no application. Publicly known, significantly loan background. So there was some concerns about that. But right now, the village administrator is still currently working and is protected under the Whistleblower Act.
Is he working good with you all, or do you all have a better relationship with him with the protections that he has now? And is he working good with you all now?
He has been working with the trustees and department heads to keep the village moving and to work on whatever behind the scenes that is needed for the investigation.
This last meeting that I saw that the trustees of Dolton had at the Park District was really informative. It was really nice until someone came in and crashed your meeting. And I saw when she approached on your side, and I saw your expression. I saw your expression on your face when she came in, looking fabulous. Somebody said she looking fabulous and hoo-doo-doo. And maybe that's some of the Amazon stuff or whatever that she came in and you laughed, you smiled and everything. She came in and did what she did. I got to compliment your mayor pro tem for the courteous courteous and decent and professional way that he relinquished his seat, which is, it is by law. If she's there, she is the presider. A lot of people don't understand that the mayor presides over all meetings unless that person is absent, and they put that mechanism in place, which I think was genius, to have a mayor pro tem to handle the business. But she came in, sashayed in, and did all her things, and she said some things pertaining to, she was making appointments, and I think that was Trustee Norwood and Brown, that you were sitting next to, y'all were doing high fives. What was that all about? The high
Um,
five. That's what I want to know.
So I would just say that the mayor has been invited to every meeting that we had. She is the mayor, so she's the chairperson. She chooses not to show up. That is on her. It was funny because me and Trustee Norwood had talked about it earlier that day. And I'm like, she coming to this meeting. And they like, no, she not. I'm like, she's coming to this meeting tonight. And when she came in to keep saying that it's a legal meeting when it's not, as long as we have a quorum, we can continue on. And
Yeah.
to try to appoint people that she has already been in court in, to say that this appointment can't happen unless it's a regular board meeting, how it's scheduled on the agenda, which it was not on the agenda. When she said, I'm here to appoint my police chief, I turned around. It was not thought out, but I was like, gotcha, because of course, once again, technically it's a violation of the TRO, but it
Yes,
costs money to keep going back to court. And
it
we don't want
does.
to continue to use all the money that we do have for all of this court. Like it has to be at some point that we have to just continue making executive decisions that we need to make and legislate and move forward. So it was a high five, like she's so predictable. That's what it was.
Well, I was just interested in that because that kind of caught my eye. I've been actively watching and observing everything because I have ties to that area. I was just so, it was just so, the things that were happening, blocking people from the meeting and setting up the barricades and the metal detectors. All I heard, beep, 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 everybody going in talking about, only a scared person, unless you did something really wrong to a person. I know you need security in various positions, but she seemed like she was the Secret Service going down to Springfield for a meeting that wasn't going on. Nobody was in session. She honking, going through them people neighborhood with them trucks that had no business going there, and on them bikes and everything. And I won't talk about certain people that are on there. I won't give them any credit. But William Moore, Lacey, the guy that runs your day to day as far as streets and sand man, I would call him, the man that takes care of the trees and things like that. These people that are in position now, I think, okay, so with the new declaration by him being laid off, these certain people being laid off, why is he still coming? Is he still coming to the village to work or whatever, or sit in your unauthorized spots? Tell us a little bit about that and the suit that the mayor says she's suing y'all because y'all made her look bad at the meeting.
So who are you talking about? That's coming
Let's
to
talk about the
the.
cast of characters first. That William Moore,
Oh,
Lacey,
so
and them
Lacey does
cohorts.
not. Yeah, Lacey has not come back for a
Okay,
while, so we have not seen Lacey.
okay. Did he get
William
y'all
Moore.
car back and your keys and your badge, all that stuff, and the belt that he got on, look like suspended? He turned his stuff in to you?
Yes, Lacey turned this stuff into
Okay.
the police department.
Since you the chairperson of, are you? It is fire and police,
Police
right? You are the
department.
chair
Yes.
lady. Yeah,
Yes.
you make sure he gets that badge back so he won't do no wrongdoings. Also, tell us about the housing. And you said something in a previous meeting that I was listening in, and I'm going to go in another direction in a second, about the housing situation. She was trying to buy those properties that we were talking about in your clip. What is behind that? How many? I mean, what are they doing with these properties?
Allegedly, we
Allegedly.
we have seen that there are a significant amount of properties that were either donated to the village or the village owned that people are now they're now the owners of them. They've sold them or resold them, and it's under investigation of the mishandling of village properties that's being sold to other people, and we haven't seen the profits of it.
So he has something to do with it, because he be sitting back in the slide like he's handing out the books and things at the I know he works at the township and everything, but and then he has I'm a person like this. I love the Lord, but I don't like losing the Lord's name in vain, especially when crookery is going on and things are going on allegedly. um I just had that thing with him, but I like the way that people don't understand that the sergeant at arms, which was the chief Lacey thing. I hate how he was talking to you all and hollering at you, and I like how you responded to it. And you can't tell me nothing. You ain't said that's calm as I said it, but you let him know, like, wait a minute, I'm a board member. You ain't got no. You better shut up. We pay your sign your checks and things like that. Your courage, and you're one of the most vocal out of the trustees. Tell us, how do you're a mother, you're a business owner, and you're a community leader, elected official. How in the world do you do all of that? I just want to know, please.
Um, it takes a lot of prayer and time management. I'm not good at time management, but it takes a lot of prayer and just making sure that I try to balance my life and my job. When I took that oath, I always say I took it to represent people. So I have to make sure that in order for me to be a good representation of the people, I have to be strong. I have to make sure that what I'm saying I can sleep at night because I know that I'm not doing anything wrong. I'm not here to spite anyone. And I always tell people I don't have a personal ill will against the mayor. I don't like her as a mayor and the actions that she's taken against our community. So I just think that, a lot of just balance. Now I walk every morning. I didn't get my walk in because I had to make sure that I was back home. But I try to
Oh,
walk
see,
every
see.
morning to release a lot of tension because this has been a very stressful job. I'll say that it has been very stressful and it shouldn't have to be like that. But just try to take your mental and health. Definitely just try to take care of it. And I take trips when I need to get away. So, and they're paid for by
Okay.
me, not by the village. So,
So you're not getting none of
just a
that money
balance.
to send you to. You ain't getting none of that trash can money and ticket money to go to Bahamas on that night. That you ain't doing
No, sir. No, sir.
that. Okay. I want to say to all of our wonderful listeners that have some questions, if you can assist me in getting some questions, we want to just get a few questions in from our chat. If you could put one or two up, I'm not possible. You're going so fast here. Okay, get me to one that I need to get to. But Trustee Belcher, another thing, your colleagues. Tell us about your colleagues, Norwood and Miss Brown. Tell us about these two people because it looks like, see, you. They say you the mama bear. You handle the business. You make sure nobody runs over them. Tell us a little bit about your colleagues that you work with, any of them, all of them. Stan Brown, the rest of them, I wasn't going to mention them, but if you'd like to.
No, that's fine. And the thing is, we're all elected to do a job. Even when you stated about Jason House is a stand-up guy. Yes, when she walked in the door, for him to get up and give her a seat because she's the mayor. So he's very remarkable. I think that, his intentions to make sure that the village moves forward is great. Brittany is our happy person. She's like the happy Sunday, happy Monday. But she's also about the youth and she's a realtor by trade. So a lot of stuff that's going on in the housing, if we were able to really just get our committees in order and do what we needed to do, I think the village of Dolton would be in a shape to definitely move forward. Tammy Brown, she has a background in human resources. So a lot of things that go on with the contracts, with the Just the hiring, how the hiring practices is good. Stan Brown, Stan Brown, outside of him being a fence rider, and I'll say that, and he knows I'll say that to him. As a man, he's a good guy. We talk, we just don't have the same vision. And Andrew, it's just Andrew. I don't even have anything to say about Andrew. I'll just leave it like that.
You move your seat, and then they your honor, the mayor said, y'all switching seats and everything. You got away from him and got over there with Brother Brown. He seemed like he was very happy to have your company and everything, but he knew he was protected if he was around you. And your and Mr. House, he's just cool. He just said, okay, I'm gonna be nice, I'm gonna act mayoral oral and everything. I believe he's a great person. Will you try to get him to get in touch with me to get him on here, since you went through the fire, telling me he got to come to Mississippi and holler at his folks in Mississippi? You know, it's a lot of Mississippians in Illinois, but there are a lot of people on our network and in our viewer listenerships that really care about you. You got a lot of fans, a lot of people that are talking real well about you, and even if they weren't, I wasn't gonna have it. Y'all not gonna dog my guests under no circumstances. But I got a final parting question. What do you see? I think somebody asked you this already. The future of your village. What do you see, and what would you like to see in a coming administration, your reelection, which I believe you will get there? What would you like to see as of now going forward? Because we don't know when the feds or when the people or authorities are going to come. But what is your game plan, and what is not game plan, but what is your vision and your insight about the future of Dolton?
I think right now, just the trustees continuing to move forward to handle as much business as we can, hoping that many more people come out in the upcoming election, February 25th, 2025. We definitely got to get people out so they can take a stance on what's going on. And just, it's going to take time. I believe that we're in more deficit than we really believe, because we haven't seen everything. We've seen a lot of surface stuff. It's probably people out there that some deals have been made that we don't even know about. So it's going to take time for us to get out this deficit. But I believe under the leadership of Trustee House and the support with the trustees that we have on the board, that we'll be able to turn Dolton around. You got to give us a year or two, but we'll be able to turn Dolton around.
My wonderful guest has been the Honorable Kiana Belcher. She is ranking. I'll put her up there. She'll be in there doing what she does. I was going to call you the ranking member, but then, that would be advancing it a little bit more. Who has given us her time and has spent this morning with us. And I tell you, thank you very much. And if you could see, you talk to the future mayor. I got something for him. You tell him to come on and visit me. I'll do my very best to be nice to him. But for all of us that are here, I wanted to just at least let you all know that what you see in Dolton is nothing new, because things are happening in many municipalities, even here in the state of Mississippi, where politics play in a plantation type of a way. People support people that they support, whether they wrong, they could be wrong. But I can truly say that I'm glad that people like this trustee and her fellow trustees that are standing up and telling the world and letting them know we're not going to let anything happen to Dolton because it's in their care. We're asking all of you all that are in the chat, you all say a prayer for the town and for the village of Dolton and for its leadership. And we hope to have you back again in the near future, Miss Belcher, because we know that this is going to be a hot campaign. You got your boys here for you. I'm going to holler and talk stuff. And a lot of people, they listen, and we're going to make sure that we're here for you. Thank you very much. Give our love to your wonderful colleagues to keep doing what you're doing. I said what I said. Brother Lee, would you all like to say your parting goodbyes or anything to our wonderful guests before we go?
Yes, Miss
I
Belcher,
would,
thank you so much for stopping by and answering our questions and doing this interview. It's been a delight to speak to you today, and we
Thank
appreciate you
you.
coming by.
Thank you.
yeah, and I appreciate you taking time out of your day and speaking to us and answering our questions and our concerns. Thank you.
Thank you for having
Yeah.
me.
And thank you, Miss Belcher. You have been a wonderful joy to us, and we want to thank you for coming on the Magman Morning Show. Listen, get the replay, folks. You can replay it at any time. Like and subscribe. You can also support us. We're not monetized, folks, but it takes a lot of work to do what we do here. And at the bottom, you see we got a little cash app. You can give your tools and proofs. We appreciate you for what you do. Kiana Belcher, Village of Dolton Trustee, has been our guest. Thank you again for coming on, and we're going to ask God to give you strength this weekend to have a wonderful one, get you some rest and everything, and just enjoy yourself. Keep being yourself. And you know you got friends over here at the Magman Morning Show. I want to say good evening, good afternoon, and good day, good morning, wherever you are in the world. We want to just say that keep loving each other, show some love for each other. We're going to have a wonderful weekend in this region, and we're just asking all of you just to keep your dials and your channels tuned to us, because we go into full swing election mode. That means we're going to be having reports from the Midwest, from Illinois, from Texas, from New York City, and from everywhere on election day. But leading up to it, we're going to have some special reports. I'm James Mack. I'm the Magman from the Magman Morning Show, saying good morning. Y'all be good to each other. I'll holler at you and see you on Monday.
It's a Mac Man Morning Show. It's a Mac Man Morning Show. It's a Mac Man Morning Show. It's a Mac Man Morning Show.
Sitting at home when you're in your car. It's a Madman Morning Show. No matter if you get far. It's a Madman Morning Show. You better tune in quick or you might just miss. It's a Madman Morning Show. The best show this side of the sea. It's a Madman Morning Show.
It's a Mac Man Morning Show. It's a Mac